Alright, YouTube, so I was gonna record reacting to barber tutorials with no views. That was gonna be one of these sessions, and I decided to type in barber instead of barber tutorials. And what ended up happening is I see my boy in like one of the thumbnails, and so I also got intrigued by the title, and it's a Vice video. So check it out. This is what I'm talking about right here. So I'm scrolling and this is what I see. I see underground barbershops under quarantine, Vice. And then I see my boy right there. So it's like, yo, let's check this video out. I haven't watched it. It's only 3 months old. It's a Vice video. It's probably produced very well. And what I think they're probably talking about is probably what's going on in California, where they're mandating, you know, strict laws. Barbershops are struggling. Beauty salons are struggling. They want barbershops to open outdoors, that type of thing. It's different now. I think that they've opened it up. It's not as strict anymore. But let's check out the video nonetheless.
Getting a haircut during the pandemic is a risky experience.
I do not condone this.
People still do that.
Trust me, I know.
Wait, whoops.
It was a struggle, man. It was a struggle.
Why'd you decide to come through during the pandemic to get your hair cut?
I don't know. I guess it's habit. Man, I can't do it no more. If you're a white man with a scruffy beard and your hair's a little wild, you just have that rough man look. If you're a black man, you look broke.
Who cares? Like, I guess, but I mean, you should just be doing it because it makes you feel better.
It was such an impulsive move. I know I probably shouldn't be here anyways.
Dave Diggs is a
Boy, Dave doing women's hair too?
professional barber living in San Jose. He owns 3 different barbershops and employs about 25 people.
Yeah, Dave is a very cool dude, man. Very successful. My first show that I got booked for in Romania, I got the pleasure to do that with Dave. And we spent like 4 or 5 days in Romania together in the hotel. We would have some late night talks, man. We have a few drinks together and have some really late night talks. Very passionate talks about the industry, about business, about entrepreneurship. And this dude, man, he's a hustler, bro. He's got an amazing head on his shoulders, and he's involved in his community. This dude right here is the real deal, Dave Diggs. And if you don't remember Dave Diggs from YouTube, man, Dave had a YouTube channel before I even started my YouTube channel. I used to watch Dave, so that's crazy.
I believed I could do so well as a barber.
Really?
You know, I was raised with the electricity cut off. I was raised with walking to the store to buy 2 or 3 packs of ramen noodles. So for me to be able to take care of my kids without those worries, I was living the American dream, and now I'm living the American nightmare.
Crazy.
So he started cutting hair out of his garage, and he says he's been adding extra precautions.
Of course.
Every single.
Tell me how that helped anything. Everybody just started cutting hair at home. That's all. It didn't change nothing. In a less controlled environment, that's what people started doing because they gotta pay their bills.
Pair of gloves. Every single client's got a disposable cape. In between my clients, I'm spraying my chair down with Lysol.
What you're doing right now is technically illegal. You worried about that at all?
You know what? I've made concessions in my life where I had to decide, do I take this risk to put food on the table or do I not? Every month that my shops are closed, I go $12,000 to $14,000 in debt. Some people's job requires them to stay groomed. I cut the hair of several police officers.
You cutting police officers' hair right now?
Right in my garage.
Yeah.
Those police officers haven't been in here to arrest me. They've been in here for a haircut, tell me to be safe, and tell me they'll see me next week.
Yo, Dave would definitely be that dude, man, that would pioneer something like this, bro. It's tough for a professional in this industry, man, because you go to school for, I think California's like 1,500 hours. More than police officers, more than EMTs. Like, you really have to go to school for 1,500 hours. You spend, you know, $20,000 on your education, and 90% of your schooling is on sanitation, is on public safety, is on state laws, it's on diseases and controlling your environment. Like, a professional barber like Dave Diggs, bro, like, this guy is using cool care, he's using disinfectants. He was doing this when he first started, probably 15, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? And it just sucks that you see politicians with their haircuts. You see places like here in Florida, the beaches were open. You know, here in Florida, the theme parks were open and barbershops were still not allowed to be open. And so it's like a barbershop can operate appointment only. A barbershop could get rid of their waiting area, so you could only be in the shop if you have an appointment, and could definitely keep people 6 feet away, much safer than any grocery store can, right? And I get it. It's for the safety of people. I get that. I get that, trust me. But you also have people who are losing $12,000 to $14,000 a month. every single month. They know they can operate safely, but you're not going to allow them to. This guy could lose his whole life's work. You know what I'm saying? And he sees a grocery store open. This is a small business owner. This is not a huge corporation. This is a small guy. You know, it's such a tough conversation. It's tough. I would hate to be in Newsom's shoes, any politician's shoes. But I also understand why Dave Diggs and thousands of barbers in California are cutting hair like this. At the end of the day, did these mandates really solve anything? I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments.
Diggs hasn't faced any consequences for continuing to cut hair, but others haven't been so lucky. Business owners have been fined or even arrested for defying orders to close down.
Yeah.
And across the country, haircuts have started to become a political issue. Meanwhile, states like Georgia have been open for weeks.
Well over 2,000 people have came through this barbershop
I know him too,
in the last
Youssef.
18 days.
Damn.
You know, yeah,
That's a lot of people.
Each one of us cut about 8.
It's crazy how big the barber industry is, but how small the community really is. Like Youssef had a booth right next to mine at the Connecticut Barber Expo. It's crazy.
80 to 100 a week, and there's 8 of us in here.
Youssef El Tawasi runs a barbershop just outside of Atlanta. When the state lifted the ban on barbershops, he posted a video letting his customers know that his shop was open and showing them the precautions they were taking.
Yeah.
But not everyone was excited about that announcement.
Yeah.
As soon as the governor said, yo, we can open up, I was open that very same day. A lot of my peers that are considered top barbers in Atlanta were just like, no, we're not opening. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take the lead. I'll be in the forefront.
You know, I think a lot of people would say you're taking a risk. I mean, have you thought about how would that affect the community if somebody was exposed at your shop?
It would definitely be a tragedy. You know, I have a child who's immune compromised. My son,
Really?
Ismail, he's 9 years old. So he has to take immunosuppressants every day for the rest of his life.
I mean, that's your son. Are you worried?
Of course, absolutely. So I keep it limited.
California, the governor just announced
Tough,
that
man.
barbershops in some parts of the state can reopen. But major population centers like LA and the Bay Area, where Diggs works, are still closed. Anyone continuing to cut there is doing it against state orders.
Why is it that you'd want to talk to me about this?
Because there are thousands and thousands of people that are forced to make the same decision I'm making. I'm not trying to be a bad role model, but other people have the same problems I have. You know, why is that barber cutting hair? He's putting my life in jeopardy. I bless your life, but now it's about protecting my lives. I gotta feed my kids, man.
Tough. People don't understand. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's tough, man. I mean, you guys know my situation. Was losing $30,000 a month. 2 months, lost over $60,000. Had to close 2 barbershops. Luckily, I've been in a position where, you know, I have other streams of income where I could afford to lose that type of money because we stayed closed. But if I didn't have those other streams of income, what am I going to do? Just lose everything? Ah, that's rough, man. I feel for these guys, man. I really do. I feel for the industry. I can't wait till we can get past this and hopefully we see some type of normalcy. I feel like things are getting better, you know, and there's definitely gonna be people in the comments that saying
Stop being sheep.
But you know what? The one thing I know for sure is the whole saying is better to be safe than sorry, right? I feel like that term works for everyone, but it works for everyone in a different way. You know what I mean? It's easy to say stop being sheep, but then you have your kid who's has immune deficiencies, who's at risk. You have a parent who's very, very sick. Any flu could end them. And so you have to battle with this idea, do I lose all my businesses? Do I lose my life's work? Or do I take the risk that all of this is truly a hoax at the cost of my kid's life? Or my parents' life, or my grandparents' life? I feel like we just need to be a little bit more empathetic all the way around. You know what I mean? But
Is anybody cutting at the shop right now?
All of my barbers already had their own key. I didn't encourage barbers to cut hair,
that's how we did it.
necessarily discourage them to cut hair. I told them to do what they felt they needed to do.
I didn't do that because you could lose your business license, and you know that'll affect everyone in the shop. You know, I just said, you know, we didn't charge any booth rent when we did open. A lot of barbers didn't come back, and didn't come back for a few reasons. You either didn't come back because you've been cutting hair at home, you don't want to pay booth rent, not considering the fact that you probably had an inflated number of people coming to your house because they had no other options, right? Or they didn't come back because they had somebody in their household that was at risk. They didn't want to take that risk. It wasn't worth the chances, you know. But nonetheless, once it was legal, we left it to the discretion of the barber. And I'm the type of person that I would have done the same thing as Dave, you know, and I was going to. We were going to open up early. We was just going to open the doors. But at the time, we had 7 barbershops. Can you imagine getting fined or losing your business license or anything like that? It just wasn't worth it.
Looks like Dig's shop is closed. But
For
on
me.
the side, they're getting back to business.
What do you got?
It's my dog.
That's what you want to do? Oh, okay.
Look who's that. I know every barber in this video.
Say, look, man, you cutting. This is not essential. Why are you doing this? They say we aren't essential.
I know him too. If y'all know YouTube, that's T the Barber.
Major press conference that's had to do with this, whether it was the governor or the president or whoever, they've all been fresh in the room every single time. So how can you say we aren't essential first?
Wait, you think they can cut?
Oh, for sure. Dave's a great person. It's a risk for him too, of course, because it's his business. Just told everybody, you guys don't owe me nothing.
Wow.
Wow. I got goosebumps. Dave said y'all don't owe me nothing, man. Just do what's best for y'all. Like and don't expect nothing in return, man. Great guy. Great guy.
That is big, yeah, because he's still paying rent.
He's still paying rent. He's still paying rent, y'all.
Yeah, he's still paying. He's allowing us to come here and cut, and he's taking care of us.
That's so tough, man. This is definitely something we'll never forget. The whole world will never, ever forget. I know barbers who have left the industry. I know barbers who have called it quits. And it's interesting because there are people who are considered essential that don't want to go to work. They wish they were in our shoes. They don't want to go to work, but they have to go to work because they're needed for society, even during this crazy pandemic. And then there's people who wish they could work, so they're leaving the profession so they could be pandemic proof. I feel like every profession is kind of like this. But the barber industry has been around since ancient Egyptian times, and it's always been like this, but it's been up, right? And when there is some level of normalcy, the industry is going to skyrocket, you know? When we open our doors back up, we got busy, you know? Barbers were booked months in advance. I can't say that we're not pandemic proof, but we definitely are affected by the pandemic, right? Hopefully barbers from this day forward, you know, have been able to reflect. Don't blame your profession, blame yourself. Because I didn't blame the barber industry for being closed 2 months and losing all the money that we lost and the 2 businesses that we lost. I was grateful that I was smart and I put myself in a position that, you know, we could have a few rainy days, you know, we could have a few rainy months and survive it. And so I think that this whole thing was a wake-up call for a lot of people. And unfortunately, at the same time, I think about the lives that were lost, you know what I mean? It's a tough video to watch. But yeah, you guys let me know, man. It's a discussion that will forever be impactful, will forever be a thing where, you know, people will look back on. You still don't know if you've made the right decision during the pandemic, if you made the right calls, if you did the right things during the pandemic, you know, like even now, probably even, you know, 10 years from now, you still won't be sure if you made the right call on some of your life choices during this pandemic. And that's crazy. Yo, love you guys. Appreciate y'all for watching another video of mine. We're grinding, man. 5 videos a week. Probably start doing more. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this video. Smash the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Love y'all. See you on the next one.